All right, very happy to be joined again for the third time now in the studio by Mike Pasman from Alberta Asian Motorworks and Alberta European Motorworks. Mike, it's been a little while, but welcome back.
Yeah, thanks for having me back. I'm always excited to come back and chat with you guys and have a couple of beers and see where it takes us.
All right, so before we get into the business part of this interview, I want to talk about the last time you were here, Mike. You were part of our last ever recording just over a year ago, and for some reason, completely unprompted, you volunteered to be a part of the Hot Chip Challenge. Now, are you like Kevin a year later and still have PTSD from that?
No, I mean, I do enjoy spicy food, but that was on the next level, though. There was nothing that's ever compared to that one chip challenge. But happy to do it with you guys.
Yeah.
It was an honor.
Yeah. Well, and I love the next day because we got updates from everyone on their bathroom habits too. And we talked about this last episode. We realized maybe it wasn't the chip. Like, I don't know, how much milk did you drink that night?
I had a decent amount. There was not a lot that was taking the heat out of my mouth except for chugging some milk.
Yeah, you say spicy, but my mouth just went completely numb immediately. Like, just talking about it just now, I was like getting clammy. Like, I don't even want to think about that chip.
It just goes to show there's nothing Mike would not do for this podcast, which includes coming back. So I guess we'll just start off the last, year or so. How have things been? I guess we'll talk primarily about Alberta Asian Motorworks, but what year are we in now? What was 2023 like?
Yeah, 2023 was great. I mean, it was our first, what I like to think of, full official year in business without any problems, COVID and all that stuff, because we opened in March of 2019. So we had 9 months there and then plunged into COVID shortly after. And so the first few years of business was really tough, but 2023 was by far our best year. We got a bunch of new staff in. Both shops actually are kind of growing a little bit. So hopefully 2024 kind of keeps rolling at the same pace that 2023 was, and we'll knock it out of the park again.
So I wanted to ask, let's go back even further than this year. Like, how did you get started in the business? Because I think it's a family business. Is that right? Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. So my dad bought the one shop in 2001. And so I started in the RAP program in high school and got my journeyman's ticket in 2009. Worked on cars for 6 years and then started working the upfront, doing the service advisor stuff, and now stepped into more of a manager role between both shops. So I've been there for actually 20 years as of September of 2023. So it's been a long time.
Well, and since you bring up the RAP program, I think you're a really good person to speak to about this, because I guess anyone listening who has kids in high school or getting close to high school, I know that's something I assume is still offered in high school. It was offered in mine, but never really promoted. But that's a huge, huge thing that probably not a lot of people are taking advantage of, or not enough.
Yeah, it's definitely a great program. I mean, honestly, when I got out of high school, I did the token Alberta boy route, and I was like, I'm going to work in the oil patch. And I went and got my first aid and my H2S, and then I got a call from the apprenticeship board, and they said, hey, if you don't go to school soon, your apprenticeship's going to lapse. And I was like, all right, well. Away I went to first year automotive school, and then obviously never made it to the oil patch. But the only reason I ended up there in the first place was because of the RAP program. I mean, I worked, all of grade 11 and 12. I had the entire afternoon off, and I went to work and got paid for it. So, and then at that same time, getting high school credits and making hours towards my first year apprenticeship already. So when I rolled out of high school at 18 years old, I could have went straight into college for my first year, because I had enough hours already by then. But it's been tough. Sorry, I don't know if you want me to just keep going about it. The RAP program, we kind of dropped it for a little while, and we haven't gone back because it's been the last few individuals we had, they just weren't really, the work ethic just wasn't there, so it was kind of tough to keep trying to promote the program, even though it is brilliant. You really hope that the school counselors are doing their jobs, and if they see somebody who's excelling in the high school mechanics or loves that kind of thing, they say, hey, listen, this is a program you should look into. And if there's not a lot of shops, they should pick up the phone and make some calls, right? Hey, are you guys interested in taking on this RAP student from my high school? I think they've got great potential. But it's brilliant, honestly.
So Mike, all these years later, did you ever think when you were singing rap in high school that you'd be here today and like owning auto shops. Like, where's the correlation between hip hop and mechanical work?
I know you're joking, but I just want to make sure that you do know that's not what the rap program
Let him answer
is.
the question. Let him answer the question.
No, honestly, I did not think ever that I'd end up in this trade. You know, my dad worked it when I was a kid, and we weren't well off. You know, like technicians back in the 90s got paid peanuts for what they did, and now that's changing. You know, the industry's changing. People are understanding that it's not just your backyard guy that can service your car with 150 different modules in it, and there's a reason why we have to charge what we charge, and we pay our employees well for it. No, honestly, I didn't ever think I'd be in this industry. I was talking about my folks, because honestly, I grew up not well off, and I didn't want that for my kids, even though I had a good life. But I never thought that this industry would pay me well enough to give my kids the life that I never really got as a kid. Mm-hmm. And it does. You know, I'm subcontracting now for another company out of the States, training service advisors. So there's that extra income there as well. So it's done me well. And you know what, the industry's, it's changing. So the people are getting paid what they should be now.
Good. And are you finding too, like, are there a lot of jobs right now? Like, are you at the point, I know a lot of industries and this sounds like a joke, but like kids they don't want to work. They want to do TikToks and try and get YouTube famous and that. Are you finding that there's more jobs than like young mechanics coming in, or the other way around?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to find skilled technicians. The entry level guys, if you find one, we've got an apprentice at our shop. He's a fourth year now, and he started in the RAP program. And that kid is going to work for me for as long as he'll happily do so, because I'm going to just keep paying him to do it, because he is so good at his job. He's going to keep excelling as he gets older. So it's hard to find skilled technicians. And the young kids, they don't want to work as hard as they need to, and I don't want to sweep floors, and I don't want to clean up the toilets. And I'm like, yeah, well, unfortunately, that's where you start, So that's the struggle with it. But honestly, we've been really lucky. We've had a really solid staff for, going on probably 10 plus years. We don't have a lot of turnover. So that's been really nice. And not having to then, I hate interviewing people. It's probably my least favorite thing to do.
Tell us about it. Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. No, I that's different. You guys, you got it's sometimes scripted. Obviously tonight we've got it scripted in your head. But when you interview people, it's I don't know. It's just awkward. I'm not a fan of it. So then you hire them and you're like, oh man, maybe this wasn't a good idea.
Yeah.
It's a lot of second guessing yourself and.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So are you guys hiring?
Yeah, I mean, for the right fit, we could definitely use an entry level technician at my shop. Honestly, if there's any highly skilled guys out there that have been in the industry for 30 years and just want to change, like we've got room for that, So there's always opportunities at both the European shop and the Asian shop. And regardless of your background, I mean, obviously, if you've got a background in European car repair and you want to come work for me, that's perfect.
There you go, Lund.
Yeah, perfect.
You know what, Mike, and we could talk more about this at the end, but we told Lund, like, while he's, Lund employed, as we call it, and figuring out what he wants to do, I think he should spend a day at different businesses around central Alberta and just trying to learn the trade. So that might be your first one, Lund. I know you missed the rap program, so you might have to freestyle a little bit. But
yeah, I'll drop a beat during my interview, and I'll make sure he hires me.
Well, I was just say you don't have to interview him, so that saves you a step, because he might not even make it a day.
You can fire me at the end of the day, actually.
Well, next time I have one of my vehicles to bring by for an oil change, maybe Mr. Lund can help out in that.
Yeah,
that's the stupidest idea I've ever heard.
Highly supervised. Highly supervised. Okay. Yeah.
That's fine. I'll take the risk. Yeah. It's my car.
Okay. Well, there we go. We've got that settled. And now, Mike, going back, you kind of mentioned right off the beginning, but you're our first interview since we've started up the podcast again. So haven't really had any business owners on, but how has the landscape changed? Even, I guess we talked to you about it a year and a half ago. Now that I think it's safe to say we're pretty much as far away from COVID as we're going to get.
Yeah, honestly, I think with the way that the whole economic world is and the financial situation with everything, it's actually done us more favors, I feel, but I can't really put my finger on it because new cars are so expensive now. Like there's not a lot of quality vehicles that you can get for under $60,000-$70,000. If you need something big and nice, you're well over 100,000 plus, right? So people are, I think, starting to understand that car repair up front looks expensive, but by the time you're done financing that, quote unquote, over 5 years of owning a car, it's probably less money to just keep your car on the road. And so that's been helpful for us because that's always one of my conversation pieces with people when they're talking about not fixing their car. I'm like, okay, well, what are you going to go out and buy for, say the invoice is $6,000 and they got a car that's worth $8,000. Well, it's not worth putting that money into. Well, that $6,000 is going to not buy you a whole lot if you're going to get a new car. And then you got a used car where you don't know the history on it, et cetera, et cetera. So it's been good in that way, I think. But obviously, everybody seems to be pinching their pennies where they can. Everything's, I mean, man, you can't get a bag full of groceries for $100 anymore, right? So it's definitely that's been a challenge, but I think people aren't as quick to run out and buy a new car because you're not getting it at 0% financing for 10 years, right? So that's been helpful, I guess, in a way.
Are you finding that there's more or less maintenance to do with these newer vehicles?
Yeah, I don't really know if I have an answer for that.
Probably comes down to the user.
It really does, and my car is a prime example, and I will toot my horn about this thing till the day it dies because it has been the best vehicle I've ever owned. And it is the prime example of what maintenance does to your car and how well and how good it will perform in its long life if you just take care of it, right? Like I got a 2015 Audi Q7 diesel. It's got 190,000 K on it. And we've had cars that have had transmissions done and timing chains done in that same car, same model, everything at 110,000 K. But this thing's had religious oil changes every 10,000 kilometers, taking care of the fluids. So it's one of those, it's like I could write a book on this car and show it to people and say, listen, yeah, this looks expensive, but let me tell you what it's going to do to the life of your vehicle. Right. So, yeah, I don't know. It's always changing.
Yeah. By the way, toot your own horn. Great accidental car pun. I like that a lot. Yeah.
Yes.
But and I don't know if there's even an answer to this question, but I know the last couple of years, like I haven't bought a new vehicle, but it's been very hard to get a vehicle. Like the stock's not there. Has that shown even like a negative or positively affected the amount of people just like putting more work into their car instead of like, well, I can't get a new car, I may as well go fix it?
Yeah, and that's exactly it too. I forgot about the lack of inventory when I was telling my little bit because the financing's not the only problem. It was definitely lack of inventory. So that, and like I said, I mean, I'm really hoping that 2024 kind of carries on for us business wise as 2023 did, but maybe with things changing, who knows what's going to happen over the next little while. Maybe that'll affect us negatively, but we're just keep doing what we're doing. And I feel like again, I'll toot my own horn. I do feel like we're the best automotive shop in Red Deer. I mean, there's obviously, I think there's close to 100 in Red Deer. Wow. Something absurd. Holy. Like it's an astronomical number. Obviously that includes like guys that rent a one bay shop and do their own thing. Right. But, I feel like we give the best service, we're super personable. And so I think that is what we're banking on to kind of propel us into 2024.
So do you have a favorite type of car or vehicle to work on?
Yeah, man, I don't know. I'm super biased. I mean, my car is the best car out there. It's
Go ahead, toot
it again. Yeah. You steered them towards that
I
one.
did.
Oh.
No, but honestly, there's so many nice cars out there. I couldn't even tell you what my favorite one is. Obviously in the Asian shop, Lexus makes a really nice car, but even Honda makes a great car. But also Subarus are so much fun, man. Like I got a older Subaru at home that I bought off a lady because it had a brick motor. And one of these days, I'm too busy having kids and putting kids through hockey to afford building a sports car right now. But one of these days, that car is going to have 600 wheel horsepower, and it is going to be mental how fast that car is. But on the European side, there's so many fun cars to drive and work on there, Audis and BMWs. So I don't know. I don't have a a favorite other than my car.
Any car, because any chance he gets to serve the good people of Central Alberta, Lund, that's his favorite car to work on.
Is there do you notice like a trend in Red Deer? Is there a more popular type of car that comes into your shop, or is it pretty spread out?
Yeah, I would say that at the European shop, we're definitely, I mean, as far as what we work on, primarily BMW, I would say is definitely our staple there. At the Asian shop, man, it's probably a mix up there but Honda, I would say Honda's a super popular car. I mean, those things are so reliable, and they got, yeah, right?
See, I mean, I know Honda's an Asian vehicle, but
Very good.
I without thinking about it, I wouldn't have got, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For some reason I picture Honda as like a North American vehicle.
Honestly, and I think that has been a major sort of barrier that we never thought about when we named that shop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's times when I look at the shop name and I wonder, you know, if we had made it this instead of that,
Mm-hmm.
would things have progressed a little faster for us? Because there's so many people out there that are like, oh, I can't bring my car to you. I drive an Acura. And I'm like, yeah, that's an Asian car.
Perfect.
You know?
Yeah.
But again, people don't necessarily associate that as an Asian vehicle per se, right? So I think that's definitely been a struggle for us. So that's why we're here. Brand
Gotta get the
awareness,
word out,
right?
yeah.
Lundy, right now, and Mike can help tell you if you're right or wrong. How many Asian car brands can you name off the top of your head? Not how many, but like name some. Let's see what you got. Honda. We'll give you Honda.
Mitsubishi, Toyota, Subaru.
You're missing a pretty obvious one. How'd you get here tonight?
Oh yeah, Nissan. Yeah. Oh man. See, that's another one I don't associate with Asia.
Yeah, but they all come from there. I mean, there's a handful more, right? I mean, Lexus, Infiniti, there's Suzuki.
Yeah.
You got Scion. What's the other one out there?
You didn't say Acura, but you had mentioned that before.
Acura, yeah.
I had no idea with Lexus either.
Yeah, well, Lexus is just a fancy Toyota, right?
Yeah.
And
I wouldn't know.
And an Infiniti is just a fancy Nissan.
Oh,
It's just
I'd
like
learn that too.
a Cadillac is just a fancy GM, right? Like they're
So
all
like
these.
you and I just drive a lower level Infinities then.
Yeah,
That's
you got to
right.
level
Yeah.
up.
Level up, boys.
Maybe not right now.
We'll see how the gig goes working for Mike, and maybe he can afford one day.
We'll
Yeah.
see how Mike pays.
That's right. No, come on down. I think that'd be fun. You should
Yeah.
we'll drag a camera down there and put Lundy in a pair of coveralls and put him to work.
Yeah.
I know it was great for me because I have two Hondas at home, and
congratulations.
Sounds like they're a great vehicle.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to deal with the dealership with it being kind of out of town and just, you know, that big dealership feel. I didn't like that. And so, you know, when you have your shop open, I was like, oh, this is perfect. And you give me great service every time I'm down there.
Well, thanks.
Give me a ride to work every morning. So I don't know if you can promise that to all your customers, because I mean, there is a picture of us in his waiting room still. So
I was going to ask
There
if
is.
that's still.
Oh yeah,
up
of
there,
course it is. Yeah, I've had many people touch it and comment on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I could have wrote out a list of 100 words you were going to say there, and touch was not one of them.
Well, they got to pick it up and feel it, right? You know.
To make sure it's real.
That's right.
Yeah. Should we get those printed like 3D next time? Like,
How about those? What were
especially
those?
with Lund. Lund was packing that day too. So yeah. That'd be the. All right, we are on track. You know what we did pretty well. But on that note too, Mike, because we probably have hopefully some first time listeners, and maybe didn't start listening till more recently. But you have a long standing history in Red Deer as well, and even with basically everyone but me on the podcast here, right? So you went to high school with these guys.
Yeah. So I've been in Red Deer my entire life.
So you watched Lund peak.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, these boys, you know, they were, you guys are what, a year older than I am, right? Yeah. So we were more acquaintances in high school, right? They were, you know, Kev here was part of the cool guys for sure.
I could see it, yeah. And Lund, he was there making money and in the rap program, and you were playing badminton. Like, how did that work out?
Man, I got third place in college at a badminton tournament one time.
Wow.
Oh,
It's
nice.
Still no job right now, though.
No, the badminton market's pretty tricky to sneak into.
And I know too, like since the last time you were on here, you have one kid, two kids. Like you've been busy.
Yeah, I've been busy. Yeah. So I got a 19-month-old at home, and then my wife's due in 3 weeks.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
wow, that's exciting. You took her bowling last night?
No,
And
she sat.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
I don't know.
Hey,
What
you know
can
what? We had this like one fun family night,
Yeah.
you know, that we were planning, and then my daughter got all stranded in Calgary with a friend, and so we brought my buddy Cody along, and man, shout out to the Gutter again, because those guys are awesome down there. Like they are killing it. It's so much fun.
Yeah, and it's kind of full circle now because you know what? We're all I'm not part of it, but you can all support each other now. Like,
Mhm. Yeah, it's excellent. And that's the thing I love the most about Red Deer. And there's lots of industries out there that are still super, you know, cutthroat, and oh no, we can't support those guys because they do the same thing we do. And I mean, if I had a shop in Red Deer call me and say, hey man, I need a hand with this, I'm not going to tell them to pound sand. Like I think it's important that the business community, no matter what industry you're in, has to work together to not only make the industries better, but so that the people that you service are more trusting of everybody, right? So I think it's great when we can all support each other, and that's why we're here again tonight.
Yeah, and so Andrew, I can't remember. Andrew's over on the couch. What was your question that you had?
What's the coolest car that you've ever worked on?
Well, I mean,
In your opinion.
Yeah, I mean, there's a laundry list of those for sure. But the coolest car was probably, we had this Nissan GTR in the shop. It was a 2015, I think. And this guy had so much money into this car. It probably had 1,000 horsepower, all-wheel drive. We did a full custom wheel alignment on it, like pulling the wheels off so we could make it like minuscule adjustments on his coilovers and stuff. That car was wild. But you know what? We get the odd Lambo in the shop, and I mean, those are. If I could go out tomorrow and buy any car, I would walk into the Lamborghini dealership and just buy 3 of everything in
Oh my goodness.
in blue or whatever. I don't like Lamborghini is probably the greatest sports car on the market, in my opinion.
And so I think Ferraris like this, where like only very specific people are allowed to work on those types of cars.
Yeah,
Is
I mean,
Lambo the same way?
yeah, I mean, we're not nearly as specialized in Lamborghini as we are BMW, because I mean, we work on 1 or 2 a year, maybe.
Because there's 2 in Red Deer.
Yeah.
Everyone sees them driving around in July, and that's it.
Yeah, well, that's for
There's number one. There's the other one. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so but we definitely have, you know, the proper tooling for the cars if we need to, but extensive work on a vehicle like that's definitely not our forte. But you know, if you need some extensive diagnostic work on literally anything else, we can do it for sure. And I think I'll carry on for just a second. I think that's one thing also people don't understand is like, we are a complete full service shop. You do not need to get anything done anywhere else. We can do tires, wheel alignments, man. If you need a windshield, I'll have somebody come in and do it at my shop, so you don't have to be inconvenienced by going to get your windshield done on another day while your car's already at my shop. So like, we literally can do anything you need other than body work.
So, sorry, Lon, you can't go there for the fitness challenge, but yeah.
Say maybe that was all that he was interested in automotive was the bodywork.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all I get. That's all I give to.
You just lost a future employee. Yeah.
Shoot. Oh.
So do you have I know you told us one last time off the top of your head. Do you have any other like horror stories or anything you come in that people like just honestly, like they just like fucked up their car not beyond repair, but it took a lot of work?
Yeah, well, I mean, we've had a lot of people come in with, you know, holes in the side of their engine that aren't supposed to be there.
From gunshots?
No, it probably sounded like one when that connecting rod broke and shot through the side of the engine block. But no, I mean, there's nothing we can't fix. We're doing a full restoration on a 93 Toyota Supra right now. It's not the super rare one that everybody wants with the 2JZ or whatever I don't know what all the kids talk about.
Yeah, we know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But anyways, this guy wants it fully redone. He wants it as stock as possible, but he wants to be super reliable. So we are doing a full engine down rebuild on this car. It's got brand new suspension, brand new brakes. We're putting it's going to be a full resto, other than obviously a fresh paint job. But it doesn't need that because it's still in meticulous shape.
What's the sickest color for a paint job in your opinion? Like
Probably
Honestly,
puke green.
like I'm thinking about doing a new color on my whip, and I'm trying to figure out what color. Like neon something.
No, I think
No.
you got to do like a burnt orange or something. Oh yeah, that would be pretty cool. Just
Yeah.
bright pink.
Yeah, you can't see Mike's wearing actually a very excellent hat right now with a pink brim. I think that's a great, especially with the hype around Barbie still.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
for
know,
sure.
it hasn't died down. I think you're a little late, but you could still get in on time
Okay.
on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mike, before we wrap up here, I didn't tell you that we're going to do this because I just thought of it about 42 seconds ago. But I know because obviously you're the expert and you can pull a lot of car parts off the top of your head. I want you to name a couple car parts and see if any of us can tell you either basically what it is, what it does, or where it goes.
Okay. Let's start.
This is your interview line.
We'll give you guys an easy one to start with, and what I think should be an easy one. Okay.
Okay.
What is a drive shaft?
I think that's the fictional band from the show Lost. That's the first thing I thought of.
That's just the shaft in the draw on the driver's side that helps the steering column and allows you to turn the vehicle.
I think that's the steering column.
I feel like it's under. Does it connect the axles underneath?
What are you doing?
Well, I
Yeah.
feel like it turns for some reason.
Yeah. So I mean, sort of in a way. I mean, a drive shaft goes from the
Okay, I was closest.
closest. Yeah, it goes from the back of the transmission down to the rear wheels, and that's what drives your rear wheels. Hence the name drive shaft, because it's a shaft that drives things.
You weren't even in the right
Well,
part
I
of the car.
even said rear drive shaft. I was talking about the
you
front.
you did say a steering column. What is that?
Well, that's where you put your steering wheel on top of.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, sure. Yeah, it does connect to the end of the steering column.
Yeah,
so
it's just a column for you to put all like the wires and connections to whatever the heck the steering wheel connects to.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's
Don't put Lund at the front counter when you
Okay.
hire him. Yeah.
there you go.
No, I cut through all the bullshit. And I just speak like the everyday person does.
Oh yeah.
What noise does your vehicle make?
No,
again?
we're not doing that again.
Those are my favorite though. When people call in and they're like, "Hey, Mike, my car's making a sound," and like, "Okay, neat. How can I help you with that?" You know, I'll need to hear that sound. So please get your car towed into the shop, which we can also arrange for you, just as an FYI.
So you guys do it all except
Yeah.
body work.
Yeah, except bodywork. Yeah, no, legit. It's you don't. On Monday, she's my best friend's grandmother, but I can do it for some people. I'm going up to pick up her car and bring it down to the shop and do the things we need to do for it. We did that a bunch through COVID just to help people out. But yeah, honestly, we'll do whatever we need. Okay, one last one. You guys are not going to get this, but it's fine. What is a connecting rod?
It's a rod that connects something. You're not playing, Andrew. We don't want you to show us up. It's got some. You just talked about it too.
I did.
It connects.
It went in the side of the engine.
Yeah.
It connects to the pistons. That's. I mean, it depends if you're talking about like your typical 6-cylinder.
No, they're all the same.
They're okay. Yeah.
I appreciate you going through the bullshit though.
You had the answer and then you ran away.
I mean,
Hey, I thought you cut the bullshit.
I got away from it. But yeah, it connects the pistons, helps the pistons go pump up and down. Yeah, like Kevin's showing right now.
Yeah, that's
On a podcast.
yeah.
Man, it looks like you're
I thought he was
milking. It looks like
milking,
you're
yeah.
milking two nipples there. Yeah. So how close was I?
Yeah, really close. Absolutely. For sure. The connecting rod connects to the crankshaft, which is this big thing that goes from the front of the engine to the back of the engine. And that's what
Okay.
rotates like this. And when that rod connects to your piston up here, then they go, up and down.
And I learned it's bad when it snaps.
Oh,
You don't
yeah.
want it to snap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's expensive.
Yeah. Well, there we go. See, we learned something just from having you in here. And Mike, I guess from everything we talked about too, and jumping back a few minutes here, basically your bottom line too, that you're saying if people aren't sure, just call you, right?
Oh, yeah.
Find out what you guys do. So how do they get a hold of you? The website, social media,
I mean,
all that.
there's all the things. Our website is, what is it? aamwrd.ca. You can check us out. Just search Alberta Asian Motorworks on Google. We'll I think 95% of the time, if not more, we're on the top there. Check out our reviews. They are in my opinion, brilliant. We obviously can't please everybody, you know.
Wait, there's grumpy people who leave Google reviews?
I know, shock, right? But yeah, and then honestly, if you got any questions, just call us. Yeah, and we'll answer any questions you have.
I got a question.
Oh.
What if somebody does not have a Asian vehicle or European vehicle, but they're sick of the service they're getting elsewhere? Can they still reach, like, you guys don't service those vehicles, correct?
No, so I mean, at the Asian shop, we do have one of my technicians. She's actually worked with us since we opened the shop. She is dealership trained at, I think she worked at Northwest actually for a little bit, maybe. I can't actually, anyways, doesn't matter. So if you got a Ford or something, I mean, I'm not going to say no to business right now. So if you want to give us a try and you want to get your Ford or your GM or whatever serviced at our shop, ooh, we missed Hyundai when we were going through the list.
Oh, yeah.
And we missed Kia.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed Kia either. Don't beat yourself up.
Yeah.
Hyundai, though, you kind of look like an idiot.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyways, we'll work on anything except for,
except bodywork,
motorhomes and like, I don't have room to work on a Dodge truck that's got a 12-inch lift on it or a dually. Like we don't have room for that kind of stuff. You got a half ton? Sure. Bring it on down. We'll happily take care of it.
Hey, if you need work on something, call Mike. Worst they can do is say, sorry, we can't do it, right? But then if they say yes,
and
it's a good thing you ask.
And if I say, sorry, we can't do it, I'll most likely point you in the direction of a reputable place in town that I know that will take care of you.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, Mike, yeah, we'll wrap things up here and let you go. But thank you again for coming back and your continued support of the podcast. Really blindly coming back, even though we have no idea if people care about this or not, but they do. By the way, because I don't think your check is cleared yet, so I better not sell us too short. But no, thank you so much for coming back again. You know, your family just such a huge supporter of the Red Deer community and Red Deer small business. So yeah, hopefully you come back. You can come back and hang out anytime. You don't even have to be on the podcast anymore. So that's
see, and that right there is why I've been paying to come here. I've been waiting for that invite. You guys are never,
Russell method. Yeah.
you guys are never getting rid of me though.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate you guys for having me. This is a lot of fun. I really enjoy coming out and chatting with you guys and having a pint or two and seeing where it takes us. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Mike.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh dear.